Um, Hello, my name is Ronald Lutz. I'm Hannah's grandfather, and she's interviewing me for ethnic studies. Well, I was born in a little town called Eigenbüttel, Germany. It's a suburb of Hamburg.
I was 2.5 years old. We moved to Canada in 1951. And the reason my folks moved to Canada, it was shortly after World War II, and Germany was pretty leveled. So they wanted to come to the United States, but unless you were a rocket scientist, they were not letting any Germans in. So we ended up in Canada, and that's actually where I grew up. I was in Canada from the age of 2.5 to 16. When I was 16, we moved to California. My parents applied for citizenship. They were on a 7-year waiting list. They had to have a sponsor. When they had all of those things in order, we moved to California. Living in Canada, we lived out in the country. We had 20 acres. We were not farmers. My dad was a plumber. He worked in the city. But we did have a cow and a few chickens. That was just enough for milk and butter and some eggs. Most of our property was wooded. It was pretty cool as a kid. We walked through the woods. We had a creek about half a mile away. In the summer, the creek was our swimming hole. And in the winter, we played hockey on it.
A country bumpkin from Canada coming down to SoCal as a teenager. What a change of lifestyle. I didn't live long in Germany.
Yeah.
Now, I did spend 4 years there. I was in the U.S. Air Force.
Oh, okay.
And so they sent me back to Germany, and I was there 1968 to 1972. I was stationed at Sembach Air Base. It's near a town called Kaiserslautern. It's about in the western part of Germany. And so I was there for 4 years. And fortunately I speak the language and I had relatives up there, so I got along very well as an American over in Germany.
Could you speak some German?
Mein Deutsch ist nicht so gut jetzt, aber ich spreche ab und zu.
What does that mean?
My German isn't too good anymore. It's like use it or lose it, you know, but I speak a little bit still. Actually fit in quite well because I had blonde hair and blue eyes, and in the 60s surfing was a big craze, and the Beach Boys were very popular. A lot of people thought I was a surfer, which I didn't even know what that was at first, you know, but no, I did fit in quite well.
Also, where we were stationed in Germany, their German was a little different than what I was used to. Being from Hamburg, they call that Hochdeutsch. That means High German. They spoke what you would call, I'm not sure what the name of it is, but when we were in Kaiserslautern, they had a slang. It was like a southern drawl or something like that. You know, so it was a little difficult to understand at first, but I got the hang of it. Well, no, I knew German because my parents were German. You know, they were not U.S. military, and all we spoke in the home was German.
They didn't know any English?
My dad, he came over to Canada 3 months before my mom, my brother, and I, and he was a lumberjack. He saved up a few dollars, he got a place to rent, and that's when he called for us. When I started first grade up there, I did not know a word of English because all we spoke was German in the home.
How did they teach you then?
I just learned it from being around the other kids and everything, yeah. There were some when I was probably in the 3rd grade to probably the 5th, 6th, 7th grade. I used to get beat up a lot. And the reason for that, these kids, they didn't understand. They thought I was a Nazi. And I didn't even know what a Nazi was.
Yeah.
I would say the best advice is don't be too judgmental. Be kind. Be understanding. Agree to disagree. Those kinds of things. And just be warm and a loving person. I know sometimes that's hard to do, you know. But before, you answer questions, especially if they're hard, stop and think about it for a moment before you give advice or information or what have you. But I would say the main thing is don't be so judgmental and be kind.